Yeah, what's good, Joe? It's your man, the Bigga P, and here to share my thoughts on last weekend's card. The last weekend card, of course, I'm talking about is the DAZN card. Um, they had their debut card in Chicago, with Matchroom Boxing. And before I get into that card, I like to say, I mean, I am on board with DAZN. Not necessarily for what the fights, which I'm going to talk about, but for the fact that they are airing the World Boxing Super Series Season 2. Now, I don't know if I actually made this clear in any of my previous videos, but I was a huge fan of the World Boxing Super Series from jump, even before it started from Season 1, with the cruisers and the super middles. Um, and especially I'm a fan of the cruiserweight, and the fact that all four recognized cruiserweight champions got represented in that tournament, and then they had the type of fights they had, was outstanding to me. It was spectacular. 168. The fights weren't as epic, but the final at least made up for it. The final was how Callum Smith became was the winner of it, and also took away Grove's WBA super middleweight belt. And I thought that's by far probably the best. That was by far the best fight of the whole tournament. There, whereas the cruiserweight tournament was a little bit higher quality, where you had some where the final was just a complete undressing, but the semifinals. Both of them happened to be fight of the year candidates, which I had never seen like that in cruiserweights, especially in a tournament like that. Both semifinal fights were just so insane. So when the zone was like being bandied about and Eddie Hearn started talking about it, I was like, all right, let's see what this is all about. Streaming, I mean, obviously it's like, what kind of fights is he gonna have aboard? Because he said, he was trying to poach, try to get some of the PBC fights to get down with it and some other fighters because he wanted. I mean, he had already done this thing in England, building up a stable of fighters, but he wanted to do the same thing in America. Get Matchroom Boxing USA, going. So. Yeah, so like originally before that, I was like, oh, all right. But then when he mentioned that he secured the rights for the World Boxing Super Series Season 2, I was on board. So that's how I got into the zone. So pretty much for that, I was just waiting for audio. I set up there, set up for the alerts and everything, because I really wanted to make sure I got it as soon as possible. Um, it was last month, I believe. Last month where I think I got to say, hey, you can sign up for this now, and then the app, I prefer to watch. I mean, they said it'll be available in any type of format um, or device. I have Roku's, I have a Chromecast, I have a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I was ready for it. I know before that, their free stream was the Amir Converse's Samuel Vargas fight. That was on Facebook, and that stream held steady. It was cool. Um, and then later on, the app became available on the App Store. I got it on my TV. I had it on my phone. And I watched it originally first for the Anthony Joshua fight. And it worked. It worked without a hitch. I mean, it's very simple. It was not basic, but it was very simple, simple design, simple navigation. Basically, anything to basically it was pretty straightforward. Um, of course, as now Eddie Hearn since then has announced a whole bunch of Slater fights, and now we get to this fight, this fight in Chicago. Yeah, they pretty much. I think they had. I mean, the original fight card started at 9 o'clock, I believe, but I think they had like 3 hours of the undercard, where I think he had some of his prospects as well as the women's fight. Um, he said three of his prospects made their actual debuts on there. One of them didn't do so well, unfortunately, but two of them, pretty much did the thing, and then another one, Anthony Sims, he didn't really debut, but he was impressive as fuck. Seriously, Anthony Sims put in some work, man. That was a beating and a half that I saw. That dude was really nice with it, so definitely one day. And then there was the women's fight. And then we got into the main card. When the main card on paper was announced, it was one of those fights where it was just like, well, three of the four fights at least I dug, was cool with. One of them I was not cool with, and I'll get into that I'll get into that in a little bit. But the opener was Daniel Roman, who holds the WBA super bantamweight title. He faced Gavin McDonald, I believe, and these two. I mean, don't these two. We have a combined of 14 knockouts. So I didn't know what I was going to expect. I mean, they're not heavy punches. Well, at least Roman is more of a volume puncher. Um, on paper, it was like 50-50 to me, and that's how it played out in the ring. Um, McDonald was schooled. I mean, you can tell. I mean, didn't have a lot of power, but he was schooled. But Roman, I think, showed his class. Yeah, just the combinations, and then that right hand that he used to finish off McDonald, that set up in the 10th round, that set up the end, because he was before that he was busting McDonald up, like his nose, he was bleeding over the place. That right hand, had McDonald in all types of trouble. And then when he went down and he got up, the referee was like, "No, this is this is it. This is over." um, so it was a surprisingly entertaining fight. And I like the fact that Roman called out the other super featherweights. Was it Doheny with the IBF, I believe, Dog Bay with the WBO, Ray Vargas with the WBC. That in itself could be a fire tournament right now, because I think 122, the champions, the IBF champion, I'm not really sold on, because frankly, I didn't believe he actually won that fight, much less the title. But that's a different conversation. But I think they could really have a good tournament with all four of those champions. Um, maybe next season of World Boxing Super Series, 122 becomes a tournament. At least get two of the champions up in there. If they can, and let them do something. So yeah, I really liked that fight a lot. It was highly entertaining. The second fight was the return of Artur Beterbiev versus Callum Johnson. Now we all know Beterbiev, probably one of the more talented fighters in the sport, and one of the most avoided fighters in the sport. And he hadn't fought in about a year, because his last fight was the fight that he actually won the IBF light heavyweight title from. It was a 12-round stoppage. Wasn't the greatest fight in the world to watch. You have to excuse me. It's 8:37, and I did not have my coffee yet. He's not the most active fighter, because he had a lot of promoter issues going on, and he's just been inactive trying to fight. It's like, try to go one thing, try to go to top rank. Nope, can't do that. Can't do this. It's really frustrating too for a guy that's talented. Also with his age, he's 33. I mean, technically he's in his physical prime, but you know how it goes. Like, the prime only lasts for so long when you're in your 30s. So it's just like, we gotta try to get them active. So I was glad that Hearn was able to get him on this particular card. He faced Callum Johnson. Callum Johnson, I did not know who he is. I'd never seen him fight before. Just the only thing on his record is that he was 17-0 and he had 12 knockouts. So it's like, well, it's either he's an overrated fighter, or he's someone that could actually, catch Beterbiev at the right time. And it looked like overrated might have been the word, because Beterbiev managed to score a knockdown in the first round. I mean, we got 4 rounds. I think basically it was like a slug. It was a tense slugfest. First round, Beterbiev knocked him down. I didn't really like that knockdown, because it was more or less Callum Johnson got caught up in the ropes, and the referee didn't really separate him enough. So when Callum stuck his head back out there, Beterbiev hit him with an uppercut, and he went down. I didn't really like that knockdown. I mean, I didn't think it should have been a knockdown, but it should have just been like, just wave it off. Now, the second round, though, Callum Johnson, evened that shit up lovely. A left hook, absolutely drops Beterbiev. I was like, oh shit, Beterbiev's down. We might have an upset. I was like, hey. So then I was thinking to myself, okay, he's a banger now. So now what Callum Johnson made a mistake, and he made a really big mistake, is Beterbiev got up. He was shaky. I was like, shit, this motherfucker is shaky, baby. So I was like, he should have jumped on him. He probably could have did something, because Beterbiev was, needed that whole round to get his head clear. Um, in the third round, third round was, like I said, it was just that tense give and take, and then the fourth round, Beterbiev managed to land an inside right hand to his temple, two of them, and down went Callum Johnson. And Callum Johnson, he tried to get to his feet, man, but it was a wrap for him. It was done. So yeah, I mean, highly entertaining back and forth brawl with Beterbiev. I just hope, and now, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Callum Johnson. Callum Johnson showed he has something, and like I said, I would love to see him on future DAZN, Matchroom Boxing USA cards. Beterbiev, though, it's like I said, it's one of those things. I mean, it's the second time he got dropped, but it's like there's a couple of things that he does. Like his defense might just be leaky. Like he has power, pump. Like if you trade with this guy, he's liable to probably knock you into next week. But his defense is just leaky as hell, and I'm just thinking, I don't know, it's just the inactivity or habits that just need to be cleaned up. But hopefully he does he does address that, because if the chance that Beterbiev actually gets a shot at Eddie, I mean, light heavyweight, probably pound for pound, has probably the most actual punchers in it. Like there are some serious punchers in that division right now. Not just among the champions themselves, like the contenders themselves. Like there's a lot of champions. There's a lot of high-level punchers in that division. So it would be a shame that something like maybe he doesn't address something in his defense and he just gets clipped by some shit that he didn't expect. And so I mean, hopefully he's back in the ring. I mean, it's October 8th now. Get him back in the ring in about 2 months. I mean, it wasn't that much. He wasn't bleeding all over the place. He was good. Get him into the ring one more time before this year's out, and try, because we gotta make up for lost time. Like if we gotta be doing this, hopefully Matchroom Boxing Eddie Hearn has another spot for him on the card later on this year. So the third fight, in the fight that I was confused about why this was made the co-main event. Well, I wasn't confused, but I just don't understand why. Was Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Thomas Adamek. This was the fight I did not like. I didn't like this fight because Adamek is like 41, 42 years old, and I mean, if you've watched Adamek, I mean, Adamek's been fighting since like, was it 1998 or 1999, something crazy like that. I mean, I was in high school when this guy debuted it. And and I've watched Adamek fight. I mean, dude has had some hellacious brawls, man. When he was light heavyweight champion, when he was cruiserweight champion, and he was even for a while, he was even effective for a while as a heavyweight. I mean, he had several good victories as a heavyweight, but you go from there, he's a small heavyweight, and then you're facing and then as he got older, he aged out, and the last time I actually saw him fight was when he got walloped by Eric Molina in 10 rounds. I mean, a one punch knockout. It was terrible. I was like, that should be the end of it. But when this fight was announced, I was just like, why? It's not. This type of fight doesn't do anything for Big Baby at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other heavyweights that could have been. I mean, I know why, because it's Chicago, and Adamek is a draw in Chicago. I mean, they come out in droves for this man. I mean, you even see it right there. I mean, if you watch the replay of this or you were watching it live, yeah, they were chanting over and over again. I'm like, this is you just don't know. I mean, Adamek was at his heaviest at 227. I mean, and like I said, this is a former light heavyweight and cruiserweight champion. Big Baby weighed in at 317. 317. The man is 6'4". 317. Why? Why do you have to weigh in that damn much? I mean, even the likes of like Valuev, and that dude was he was like 7 feet, and even he wasn't. I mean, and he's damn near weighing as much as he is, and but he's 7 foot. That's actually that's not really out of the park to be weighing that much. But Big Baby this is the thing I can't stand him, and this is why I'm not a fan. Like, yes, he's not making it in weight; it's a heavyweight, but you should really try to be conditioned as a fighter. I mean, if I take a look at his box rec, I mean he's weighed in like 230 something, 240. I believe that's like his lowest weight as a professional fighter. I don't understand why he can't do that. It's like, what do you do? It's like, you're a professional fighter. You shouldn't be fighting at that high a weight. And it's just been increasing. It was like 270, 280, 300. You shouldn't be fighting that high. And he went in there the functional 90-pound advantage over Adamek. And I was like, it's either going to be an ugly fight aesthetically, or it's going to be ugly fight result-wise. Aesthetically, it wasn't a bad fight to watch. Result-wise, it was a bad fight to watch because Adamek just simply was just way too much weight. You gave him too much weight, even for a man with this type of experience. It was just too much. And, Big Baby just walked right through him, hit sickening body shots, and then ended it with a brutal uppercut on the inside to his chin. Yeah, I mean, I think it just serves as a functional showcase. It's just a showcase fight, and I just hated that Adamek just had to be the showcase fighter for this. But what can you do? Boxing. It was not the first time shit like this happened. It's not gonna be the last. And even more sickening too. He's actually in line, Big Baby, for a shot at the WBA regular title. Now, the WBA heavyweight regular title, because the champion for that, Manuel Char, popped dirty for taking 2 types of steroids. So I think the W is like, they're gonna match him with fucking Fresno Kendo, who has not fought in about 4 years, and I can't remember, and probably hasn't won a fight in that time either. He hasn't fought at all, and probably the last time he won a professional fight was probably 4 or 5 years ago. A 45-year-old for Fresno Kendo. So these are just the type of fights that I just cannot understand why Big Baby's in or why he'd be. But hope to goodness I just don't see this on any I don't see it on DAZN or anything like that. It would just be even a big black eye of the sport. And they need to find some actual competition. There's more than enough competition. Hearn has, especially on the other side of the pond, that he can try to find to give Big Baby a challenge, a real challenge. So the main event was Jessie Vargas, probably the most high-profile sighting on the American side, versus Thomas Dulorme. When I heard about this fight, I was just like, nah. I was lackadaisical about it. I didn't think it was garbage, but I didn't think it was anything crazy. And that's just mostly on Dulorme's side, because Dulorme has just been known to come up short in his biggest fights. I mean, the Abreu fight was what when he lost his ear, and then the Crawford fight was with Crawford. He actually gave a good account of himself with the Crawford fight. He was outboxing Crawford until Crawford just turned it up like he usually does and savagely beat him down. But Dulorme though made an appearance last year during that farcical Mayweather-McGregor card. He was on the Freeview, and him and Ugas waged a mini war on there where there was 3 knockdowns, and he just lost by the slightest of margins. So, hey, if you want to get someone like that back in the ring, hey, go back, And then Vargas was coming off a draw with Adrian Broner. That fight, I actually thought Vargas won by like 1, but it was close. But I thought, they should have actually gave it to Vargas. But you know how it goes in boxing. You really have to beat somebody a draw in order to get the win sometimes or knock them out. So the fight itself was outstanding. It was a solid heavy welterweight fight, and those two waged a good fight. It was bloody. And Dulorme probably fought as good as he fought in years. Like he was on point. Like he was. Jessie Vargas is a tough guy. Even in his losses, he's not the type of guy. Even in he has a lot of disputed losses, and he has his actual losses. But he's not a guy that I that's easily dissuaded. Dulorme had him wide open. I'm talking about like the one thing I found, and I'm pretty sure this is not how he fights. I've seen him fight, but his eyes were like wide, like this, like he was like he was just wasn't sure of himself. Like he was very just like I don't know what it is. I know for sure this is not how this guy fights. I've seen enough of his fights to know that he shouldn't be. He's not this wide. I mean, I could probably check myself, or if anyone else wants to comment and tell me if I'm wrong. But he just seemed like he just wasn't. He never really warmed up in the fight. And Dulorme was putting hands on him. It was actually surprising how frequently he was putting hands on him, and it was a lot of give and take. And then the first knockdown came in the 10th round when Vargas dropped Dulorme. I think it was with the right hand, and like, oh, here we go. Dulorme went down, and but then in the waning seconds of the fight, Dulorme drops Vargas with a beautiful counter right hand that made him touch the glove on the canvas, and that that knockdown, as dramatic as it could, would be the reason why the fight was a majority draw. Because one judge had it 115-111 for Vargas, and then two judges had it 113-113. Without that knockdown, Vargas would have won the fight. Or without Dulorme getting knocked down, he would have won the fight by a split decision. But yeah, it was it was crazy that that one shot knockdown from Dulorme won him the fight. That was crazy to me. Yeah, kudos to both men. It was an entertaining fight. I don't know why Dulorme didn't want to be interviewed. I definitely want to hear what he had to say. I mean, dude put out an extraordinary effort. It was good. It was a good showing. Vargas hurt his brand a little bit because, like I said, you go from damn near almost drawing with Adrian Broner and practically winning the fight in my case, and to possibly losing this fight. I mean, personally, I did not see it 115-111 for Vargas. It was not that wide to me. It was very close. 115-113, 114-113, something around that, something in that realm. 114-112, something along those lines. But no, it definitely wasn't no 115-111 or whatever. It wasn't that wide. The 113-113, like I said, it is a shame that Dulorme, that one final assault from Dulorme, that one final punch got him the draw. So yeah, I would think. I mean, personally, I would love to see it again. It was definitely a good fight, and I'm pretty sure I think now too. Dulorme probably has a spot on Matchroom Boxing USA now because Dulorme is like I said, capable fighter. Just has not had the break yet, and winning this fight would have been a huge break for his career. But overall, the card on paper, where I was like, yeah, I mean, it was super solid from beginning top to bottom. It was solid. I mean, it was it was at least a good 5 hours, 5 hours really of boxing, and I was impressed. And it was a good showing by Hearn. So yeah, I'll be waiting up for the next Matchroom Boxing USA card, which is on the 20th, and I have tickets for that one. It's Demetrius Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders. And of course, now I'm also waiting to see what the ruling is going to be because fucking Saunders had to pop dirty for something he shouldn't have had in the system. So it's either I'm going to see that fight or I'm going to see Andrade versus the number 2 for the vacant WBO middleweight title. So yeah, I'm just waiting on that. I think they're going to make a decision tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to have my coffee right now and then try to start my day on Columbus Day, which is not doing much other than doing things I want to do. So, yep, until next time, peace.